So now I know. Make sure Tom's good. You guys all set? Okay. So I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Public Utilities Commission to order, please. Can we rise into the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. So the first thing on the agenda is public input. So anybody who's under the public input part of this? Anybody online? What do we got? We got three people here. Okay. Next order of business is correspondence. Do we have any correspondence? Kathy, would that be you?
Yes, it is, but there's none.
Okay, no correspondence. I'd like to review the minutes from, we'll start with the regular meeting of January 12th. Can we go ahead and get I guess we have to accept those? Is that how we normally do it with this? Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from January 12th.
Second.
Are there any comments about the minutes? Of course, I won't be voting on because I wasn't here, but any comments, questions? Okay. I'll take a vote to accept the minutes of January 12th, 2023. All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? I am abstaining. So motion carries.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
It's not a correction to the minutes,
Okay,
but the motion that we made for 17 Whitney
okay,
at the last meeting was basically to just let P and Z know that we had water available.
Right.
Water and sewer available. What we needed was a motion to approve an allocation of 4,200 gallons per day. So we didn't quite make that motion, so I don't think it's a correction on the minutes. But I'd like to ask if we could make that motion to approve a sewer allocation for 17 Whitney Road in the amount of 4,200 gallons per day.
so we'll hold on to that motion until new business. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Excuse
so
me.
we will, but I'll expect that when we get a chance. Very good. Okay. The next order here is I'd like to move that we accept the minutes from the special meeting of January 23rd, 2023. Have a second?
Second.
Any corrections, changes, updates? Okay, so I'd like to call for a vote to accept the minutes of the special meeting for January 23rd. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And I'm abstaining, so I wasn't in the meeting. Motion carries. Okay, so the financial report, is that you, Tom?
It's big.
Okay, great.
We just realized that it's not in the packet.
Okay.
So skip me for a minute. I'm gonna go make.
We could do that. So let's go ahead and, if it's okay, we'll move on to new business.
Well, we could do invoices, that's separate.
Oh, it is separate from which, okay, oh, great, so let's go into invoices. Do I have all of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In the packet.
Here they are. Got it.
I'll make a motion that we approve $7,400 and they do cents as submitted.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, well, and that's.
Yeah. No,
That
please
would
jump in.
give
'Cause I
everybody
know-
a few minutes just to review.
Yeah.
The number two, right, Pierce, that's the new well project. Because it's 0.14.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the construction admin now portion of the project.
Maybe could we just have a delineation of, say, new?
Yeah, we can add that in. It's amendment 4 and it's related to the construction admin.
Okay.
So we'll add that in going forward on the Bergstrom well.
What do you want to have?
Just call it construction administration.
Okay, see.
And on the Hall Street,
Right.
is that the total bill or is that a partial bill?
No, that's a partial bill. I think if you look on page 2, he's got his all the items. Basically,
Right.
there is tank removal, item number 3. And finish items, item number 9 still remain.
Thank you.
Do we know when those will be done?
I didn't get a schedule on him. We have an underground tank that's gonna come out, so
Okay.
that's gonna come out soon,
Okay.
sometime this spring, I would think. And then the finished items is just him getting me the final paperwork and such, so that job probably shouldn't take too long thereafter.
Um. I'm curious, having not been here before, is there any benchmark to what the plan was in advance? Are we over, under? Are we on track?
No, we're right on track.
Okay.
Yes.
Chairman, can I ask a question?
Of course.
The invoice from Weston and Sampson. I note down on the bottom, it says on the first page, outstanding invoices. And it's got one from, and Brad just left, so maybe he's better to answer this. I see there's one from November 7th and December 2nd. Have they been paid? I don't know what they are.
Yeah, they're his previous invoices. I'm not sure why they're still on there like that. It probably just payments crossed, or I'm not exactly sure.
I guess the other question too is, did we do a vote to approve those in the previous meeting? So maybe they just haven't paid.
I'm sure if they presented them, they were.
Right.
If you look on the minutes, the 80 from the January meeting, the 8604 was approved.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And I believe the question was related to the other invoice that Brad had come back and said, yes, that was paid.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, they should be cleaned up. When I get next month's bill, I'll make sure that I'll look for that item. And if there's any outstanding, then I'll have them address it. In other words, if they're paid to take it off.
Sure. Okay.
The Weston Sampson, that's the for the going down along the railroad track.
Correct.
Stuff, okay,
Mhm,
so we're almost complete there.
correct.
I have the minutes of December 8th, I should have looked first. Okay, the other amount of 1,923.73 was paid. That wasn't voted, so. It'll look there first.
I'll just make sure when I get the next bill. If there's anything outstanding, I'll address it before we submit it.
Okay. Excellent. How do you feel, Richard?
I'm good. I'm good.
Some of you satisfied still looking? Give you a minute. Let's see. Okay.
And then all the.
Yeah, I ripped it off, and it's not not okay. Rookie mistake, right?
No.
All right, so we, okay. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve $67,400.82. May I have a vote on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so are you ready to do the financial report?
Ready.
Okay.
Been excited for it. Yes. So you'll notice the big thing that'll jump out to you is the sort of, it's in a deficit position. One, it's until the next billing, really. But Tom and I were looking at it. Some of it we pay our debt in the beginning of the year. So of the like $1.1 million in debt service, we've paid 90% of it already. And we're only just over 50% of the way through the year. If you back that out, some insurance stuff, we're right where we're supposed to be. But it's just the timing of the debt service payments versus the billings. We fully expect sewer is gonna go into a surplus position by the end of the year.
Are we still using fuel? Fuel oil? Have we bought any fuel oil recently or the thing stopped off?
I don't know offhand, but
A couple of months ago,
yeah,
we got one big delivery
Yeah.
at the 3 sites.
because they stick them whatever, whenever they think they need them. And are any of them on automatic delivery? I think they all.
I don't know what you guys worked out.
Yeah,
Were those locked in like we did for?
so we
Social?
locked those in, the same time we locked in the gas and diesel. But the town at this point, the only fuel oil we use is the water and sewer, pretty much the pump stations and then Eureka.
I'll direct it, maybe we can see if we can, any of that fuel is still available at the old police station. And we can use that rather than buying new stuff. There's a 2,000 gallon tank there. No, yeah, I think it's a 2,000 gallon tank. I don't know if they've ever
Yeah,
drawn it down or.
yeah, I don't know where that, we'd have to have building maintenance to get to see where that.
Yeah. Greg,
I mean, we should use it somewhere and the utilities is the only place
Yeah.
burning oil anymore, so.
Mhm. That's an excellent idea.
We might want to wait till we figure out what we're doing with the building in case we have to use it for something, but you know, when we're ready to, yeah. Hopefully the building's private winter.
You got mold and everything though.
Yeah.
it's an interior, it's not a buried tank.
No, it's above ground.
Okay.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about that offline. I know it's expensive though, not using.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, most, just the, I know we've talked about it then. The companies that do deliveries that you need to come and stop it and move it, they don't like to pull it, and so it's hard finding, getting them to do it. We've had the same issue at Berry School for a while. Where at Berry School is still oil on the ground, I believe, Rich, right?
He just was looking under some of the sewer aspects, and there's a fire maintenance. There's allocated $50,000 in the budget, going to 79 plus. What was that?
That's when we had to do, it's not fire maintenance. The Munis report calls it one thing.
What is it?
That's when we had to use the manual generator, isn't it, or whether, is that for the sewer?
Am I looking, I don't know where I'm looking.
Look at
Plant
page 11.
maintenance.
Page 11. the
Page
bottom
11,
of the
thank
page,
Yeah.
where it says public utilities, the third thing down. or
It's
fourth thing down.
5207, which is
Yeah.
plant, and that's plant maintenance.
Yeah, so that's the one that's been over for the last couple of months,
We had the pump failure at Payne Road. We had Pembroke pump it over the weekend. And we got 2 pumps repaired and a replacement pump. So we've been over since probably August, Kelly.
So this was on the last meeting too?
yeah, and if you look at on page. 9,
9.
you'll see prior month was 91,363, this month was 92,5. So we stopped the major spending on the account, but it's all mostly related to the
Yeah, but it was over.
pumping.
Yeah, that happened early on in the year too. Like I said, I think it was August.
There was a problem with the pumps and they had a pump 24/7, like, so.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And over a weekend, right? So we were paying a
Over a
weekend rate.
weekend.
Actually.
So it's the cost of pumping, it was a replacement pump,
Right.
and then the 2 pumps, we ended up being able to repair them both, so now we have one as a spare.
Ouch. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So could I have a motion then to approve the financial report?
I'll make that motion.
And second. Any discussion? Thank you. No, it's any discussion. You're second, good, okay. So I see no discussion. They have a vote to approve the financial report. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carried. Okay, so the new business, let's go ahead so we don't forget. Tom, if you wanted to make that motion, new business regarding the previous minutes.
It's just to make a motion. We had a presentation at last month's meeting at 17 Whitney Road. And we need a motion to approve a sewer allocation of 4,200 gallons per day for that project.
So,
Okay. That's right, a non-voting member, sorry. Okay. 17 minutes, okay. Any seconds? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to approve the sewer allocations of 42 gallons a day for 17 Whitney Avenue. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions, motion carries. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so under new business, excuse me, the new business, I apologize, the allocation request for 61 South Street for 15 units.
Okay, yeah, Doug DeVesta, the engineer for the project is here. He can describe, it's a residential development, which includes, I think it's 14 one-bedroom units and 1 2-bedroom unit, so it's a total of 16 bedrooms. And I'll let Doug describe.
You have the allegations here, Tom, do you have those? I have.
Yeah.
The current one. We talked about.
Okay.
Yeah. it was one of your solutions. Okay.
Yes. Okay, for the record, my name is Doug DeVesta, professional engineer representing East Station Place LLC. I'm here with Kurt Verdi, the owner of the LLC. It's on 61 South Street. It's that vacant lot across from the they got the cemetery on the south side. Fire station just to the east there. The vacant lot, and Greenwood Avenue is to our north there. We're looking at putting in 3 individual buildings, total of 16 units. So building A and B will each have 4 units, and building C will have 7 units. With 6 will be 1 bedroom, and 1 will be a 2-bedroom unit. That's the lower level. What we're here for tonight is to ask for an allocation. First off, we're in the TOD zone. So that's why we're here tonight, because we're at the allocation for the sewer flow, because we're in the TOD zone. So we're looking for the allocation of 1,600 gallons per day relative to 1,100 gallons per bedroom. So that's where we got the 1,600 gallons from. We have 2 locations for manholes. We have one to the east, which is up on, just over the bridge. This comes up on a hill and it goes back down towards the fire station. And there's one to the west of us, which we won't be able to tie into. We've got an elevation, invert going out of the manhole around 508. Our buildings at the basement level is around 413, so we can do a gravity line from the buildings out to that sewer line there. So again, the sewer line is, looking at it on my plan here, in the yellows from a potential manhole on our site coming into the back of the manhole here. So that's really what we're trying to propose to do. And we have water in the street. There's a main here, and then we'll just tie in with domestic and fire protection. The buildings will be sprinkled. So that's what we're looking for. So again, we're asking for an allocation of 1,600 gallons per day for this development. Any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Doug, I have a question about the elevation. Because if you had a blockage in the street, are you gonna flood the lower levels? Do you need a backwater valve in that?
Probably would do something like that. There's the basement levels on buildings A and B are all gonna be garage level.
Oh, garage.
Level there. Building C will have a lower level building, and also laundry facility on the lower level as well. So we can put a backflow vector if we have to.
It's, for your
Yeah,
protection.
sure.
And we don't hear that we flooded your building.
No problem.
So it's oh, I'm sorry. So it's gravity flow coming out of the building.
Right
Yeah.
now, I did a quick number
Yeah.
and it looks like it will work.
Yeah, 408 and you're coming off at 413. I guess you're gonna
Right.
come out somewhere below grade.
Right,
Below
because
that.
I looked at going at 2% grade from the furthest building, the
Mhm.
lower level and
Mhm.
out, and we can just make it out and then get 0.5% slopes out.
That was actually my question. I was curious if that percent is somewhere set. Is there a minimum or maximum percent set to consider gravity going out?
Well, it's usually in the buildings, it's usually 2%. I mean, if we had to, we can always put an injector pump at the lower level, pump it up to a higher level. Yeah, again, we still worked out the details.
Okay.
Kurt's to have a mechanical engineer look at that as well, to make a determination. But as of right now, my math looks like we can get gravity out. And we get the minimum pitch. We would do an 8-inch line from our manhole to the sanitary sewer out here at 4.10%, slope, which is the minimum for 8% slope for an 8-inch pipe.
One comment, I think we usually ask for 1%. So it sounds like you're under that. If we may have that discussion and see if it's gonna be pump or something less than 1%.
Okay.
The other question I would have for you is, I'd like to see the manhole that you have on your property closer to the property line. You extended it out maybe 20 feet.
Mhm.
So that last, so that would be the property's lateral to the property line at that manhole, and then it would be the public sewer from that manhole back to our existing.
Okay.
Well, rather than having, sewer,
This would become our,
it would be ours from here.
there, so they would.
That would more or less be in the right of way.
Yeah.
Right,
Correct.
yeah, right, correct.
So I'm trying to eliminate this piece being ours. Let his lateral come all the way to the property line.
Oh, sure.
That's no problem.
Yeah, question. What's the property behind there?
This here?
Yeah.
That's Dr. Mike's down here, so, I'm sorry. Greenwood Avenue's up here. So I
Dr.
think,
Mike's is where?
right, right here,
All right, what's the elevation that Dr. Mike's to that property?
384,
Much?
384,
Okay.
and we're at 400, we're 400, 420 here.
It's not pertaining to PUC, but is there a retaining wall in the back there or something?
We have step walks.
So
We
you're
met,
not driving it down there, so.
right, we went through, we did a preliminary meeting with planning and zoning commission already on this, so, and Beth, we've talked to Beth on it, so they're aware of what's coming through. And so we've got the, I've got it pretty much laid out right now, now we got a little more details on that.
We have the obligation
On
Is there a
record.
retaining wall going back there?
Yes, yeah, we already.
Yeah.
Elevation.
Elevation, how high?
Right.
That one's gonna be about 10, and only about 8 or 9.
I have a.
Okay, yeah, it's
Yeah.
They have to cook it, yeah.
I can explain how we've been doing it. One other comment on water, we usually want like a separate prior and a separate domestic.
Okay.
You can run them together in the same trench.
Yeah.
Valves at the property line for both. And then head into the building.
Because I mean, I've done both ways. I
Okay.
do the main line and then. cut off.
What's the plan for meters?
Right.
Water meters would be.
Really, one meter.
Street.
So originally I had-
It's all under one ownership.
Yeah.
1 meter.
Is that what we want? 1 meter?
If it's under common ownership, yes, and
They're farmers.
3 or 4 meetings ago, we worked up that letter that I've been now sending to P and Z on every project. Which I will also do for this project, basically indicating if it's under one ownership, we're good with 1 meter. If it were ever to become condos under separate ownership. We want separate lines and separate meters, so at that point, it's kind of too late.
Yeah, so these are like a cumulative.
That'd be a caveat.
So I'll make that part of what I submit to Beth for my comments.
So from the manhole to your, from our manhole to the town's manhole, you want minimum 1%. Or you want the whole line from the building.
Kel, we usually have the laterals at 1% and the mains at 1%. Now, I don't know if you have it or you don't have
We
it.
don't have it.
Okay, then that might be something.
Yeah, so we'll have to, what's happening is the buildings are separate, they're not separate. What you see in the hash marks here, they're subterranean.
Mhm,
That's the private, having it look like three separate buildings.
right,
But this is subterranean, so that's where we have our chases for all our utilities going through there, so we can certainly come in. Maybe ejector pump the lower level and then gravity feed those and then have a higher slope, right?
and again, that could be something the commission might consider if they'd rather avoid a pump unit for the 15, have it at a lesser.
Right.
Slope, so it's either way,
I mean, according to TR 16, which is the design manual, we
Right.
go by, for 8-inch line, we can go 0.4%.
okay,
And I went 0.45%.
got it,
So that's the minimum, that's the minimum rate. And
Yeah.
you want to get 2.5 feet per second per something anyway, so
Mhm.
you can check that if you have it.
How many units would be on that ejector pump if you have to put it in?
Just one.
Just 1 unit?
Yeah,
Yeah, the lower level on this building here.
Over concerned if it was more than 1 unit through the power bill, you got a problem.
Right.
That's all I'm asking. Yeah. Okay.
So just be 1 unit.
Right.
so you want a recommendation for P and Z? Or?
well, I
You want to approve
I need a motion to approve a 1,600 gallon per day sewer
Right,
allocation.
and then you can further.
Correct. The fact that it's in TOD zone, the applicant needs to get the sewer allocation first and then go to P and Z.
Understood. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second,
1,800 gallons a day,
okay?
or 17. Looks like it's-
600 gallons per day.
Second.
Got it. Any further discussion? Okay, the motion on the floor to approve 1,600 gallons per day. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None, no abstentions. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director's report.
Okay, couple items, I provided the sewer allocation annual update. So that should be like a one pager there. With all the numbers on it.
Yeah.
Basically, Dan, for your benefit, in 2016, we came up with a sewer allocation plan. We have 3 zones, the Paul Street, the Payne Road, and the Berkshire. We created a bank, which was basically 50% of the remaining flow that we had available. So for instance, Paul Street had about 400,000 gallons per day available. We set the bank at 200. Likewise, Payne had 250. We set the bank at 125. And Berkshire, there was really not a whole lot of excess. So we didn't reduce that at all. But basically, then you can see year by year what we've been taking out of the bank. So if you follow it down, Paul Street, we're down to 170,193.
Okay.
And Payne Road, we're down to 78,157. So I try to do this, on an annual at the year end, just to let the commission give them an update as to where we stand.
And then again, that starting bank is 50% of the available.
Correct. So there is more beyond where we started.
Got it. Thank you.
So that was that. I'm continuing to look at undeveloped properties. I'm probably further along in Payne Road and Berkshire to see what the future flows are going to be. Paul Street's a little bit of a bigger area. I haven't kind of gotten down to that point, but I think in the long run, we're going to be okay at Payne and Berkshire.
I got a question on that. When Berkshire came in, when we started the sewer project, a long time ago,
Okay.
we asked Berkshire Industrial Park how much allocation they really needed. They sent a letter at that time saying they got adequate sewer, we don't need any more. Now, what are we looking at more property to give more sewer when they said they had enough basically to cover what they need? Because there is a letter on the file. Because when Mr. Burke was selected, I questioned it. They found a letter where their engineers did the calculation, said they had ample sewer. So now we're looking at more property down there to give more allocation, is that what you're telling me?
No. The overall, our agreement with Danbury is for 80,000 gallons a
I
day
understand.
from that zone.
Right.
And we corrected our meter. We did that when last summer.
I know, yeah.
So we've been doing about, I'm trying to think, about 30,000 gallons a day. 30 to 40. Yeah, that meter was way off for a while and I didn't know where we stood with it. But, so there's allocation there beyond what we're showing here.
Right.
So what I've been doing is trying to look at the vacant properties and what flows they may generate.
All right.
And
I just want to make sure we don't do any extra allocation for what they basically said they needed.
yeah, I don't know what their master plan entails from
Well,
what.
you don't have to know the master plan because there is a letter in the file that says they have ample enough sewer for the acreage that they have. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay.
All right?
Mhm.
Thank you.
Outstanding.
Okay, so
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, okay.
So that was our sewer allocation. Couple other things. The rehab of Maple Avenue Well One is ongoing. Contractor just started this week. So we're gonna get that one, surged and then chemically treated. And it should take probably the rest of next week, and I assume we'll be back in service the following week. So that was something we put in our capital budget and we talked about previously, and they're on site now. Which actually, they're pretty lucky with the weather. They got a good week. Just a couple other minor things. I got some very minor comments from Deep on our dam emergency action plans, so I'll make those additions for them and get that submitted. March 1st, we have a couple of reports that are due, so I'll be working on it. It's called it's a tier 2 report. It's basically what chemicals you have on your site. You have to report to the state emergency planning and the local emergency planning. So if there's ever an emergency there, firefighters would know basically what's on the site, what they'd be dealing with. So that's due March 1st, and then 2 other reports the staff was working on. The cross connection report already got sent, and the watershed inspection report, that's also due March 1st, and we'll have that wrapped up before the end of the month.
Is the tier 2 the one that has to go to the fire department as well?
Yeah. It's kind of, the catch name is like the community right to know, I think is what they call it.
Where's the watershed report go?
State Department of Public Health.
Okay.
As well as the cross connection report.
Okay.
So that was it for director's report.
Outstanding. I guess do we need a motion to accept the director's report, or you don't want to do that? Okay. So let's move on to old business. First, the consideration of the water main extension on Maple Avenue extension. So I believe we have the applicant here today. So I'll give you a brief moment. I mean, I know this is a public comment. We're allowed to do this over here, so I'd love to hear your thoughts real quick on the extension, if you have any. Otherwise, we'll just review it. I think we,
I want to put a well in on the
Okay.
property. I don't want the water. The
understood.
water's not on the street. I have to go too far for it. I have to extend the water main 160 to 220 feet for one house. 70,000 added for the price of the house. I think it's. And I already have a well on the property. I subdivided. Now I need one more well. We're going for the exemption. Hopefully we get it.
Now, my understanding is with what we're doing is we're basically answering the questions for the state.
Right.
To help him with his application.
Yeah,
For example, right? We need a motion to do that. Say yes, we're gonna answer the question.
I believe so.
Right. So any discussions?
I have no problem. Second, yeah.
This is section 2 is what.
Section 2 is what we fill out. You can see there's 4 questions there for us to answer.
Okay.
So the first 3 are pretty straightforward. The 4th question is really the question. Is the public water supply, where is it? Does the public water supply recommend the issuance of the well permit exception?
Right.
So the answer to that is what I'm leaving, obviously, for the commission to answer.
Right, no, we don't have a problem.
So there's
We created our own monster with that. Right? I mean that.
I don't,
Not us, I'm saying with the double standards, and that's the problem that we got it. The problem I have is it's another agency, but it's dumped on our land.
yeah,
That's
well,
something that should have been corrected a long time ago,
understood.
right? That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So with respect to the, I guess we'll put a motion to the floor that the Public Utility Authority will recommend issuance of the well permit by answering the questions.
Yeah, the proof, yeah.
Okay, do I have a second?
Well, we're not issuing the,
No,
we're saying to the state that we don't have a problem with.
We're-
The
Right.
state is the one who has that
Yeah,
right.
issue.
We're approving the application to go to the state for process, right?
we're recommending the issuance of the
Right.
well permit exception.
There
Yes
you
or
go.
no?
Yeah, there you go.
So we're
okay.
at the commission's discretion can say yes or no to that question.
So I will state the motion then. Do we agree to, or the motion before the board is for the Public Utilities Commission to recommend the issuance of a well permit exemption for the property 28 Maple Avenue extension. Do I have a second?
A second for discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
Marty, is that wording okay?
Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, you got 4 specific questions that need to be answered. I
Okay,
mean, obviously, if you drop to the bottom of or the. That's what you're talking about. Does the Community Public Water Service recommend the issuance of a well permit exception? That's basically what I heard for a motion right now.
Right.
yeah,
Which is fine, but you still have to answer the other 3 questions. about it.
And those will all be no, I presume.
Actually, if you, I
Like
can,
it wouldn't be.
it's 2 no's and a yes, basically. The first one is the property in discussion currently served by the public water supply system.
okay,
The answer to that is no.
No.
The second, will an exception, if granted, adversely affect the purity and adequacy of the public water supply or service to the customers of the public water supply? No. The answer to that would be no.
Yeah.
The third question is the public water supply able to provide adequate water supply service as requested by the owner of the property located within their exclusive service area boundaries? I would say yes, because we can supply. And then the fourth question is the one that was read.
so I guess we should do a motion. With all of that. Yeah, it's a strange motion, that's for sure. Okay, I'll take a crack at this.
Just take them one at a time.
Okay, so we'll, so, I'll make the motion. First that we. However, okay, that we comment on the application, that the property discussion is currently served by the Connecticut Public Water System is a no. All in favor?
Aye, a second.
And, oh, yes, we need a second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any noes? Seeing none, motion carries. I make a motion that we add to the application here, will an exception if granted adversely affect purity and adequacy of the Connecticut public water system, water supply, or the service to the customers of the Connecticut public water supply? I just recommend we answer no. All in favor?
Did you get a
A
second?
second for that.
Second, right.
Just so you know, it's the community.
Oh,
public
community.
water supply,
Sorry.
just so you know.
Another rookie mistake.
That's okay.
But thank you.
I had to think about it twice.
Okay, so we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Third. Is the community public water supply, get that right? Able to provide adequate water supply service as requested by the owner of the property located within their exclusive service area boundaries. I say we suggest we answer that yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Finally. Does the community public water supply recommend the issuance of the well permit exception? I motion we answer yes.
Second.
I take a vote?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I think we got that done. Marty, does that work for you? We have that all correct?
Yes, but I'd like to make a comment from Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sullivan, I don't think anybody here ever had an objection to you dealing with and using the well. I mean, there's no question.
No, I understand.
Yeah, everybody
I'm
knows.
only here because
Yeah.
Right, I understand.
I understand.
It's the next step.
The only problem I have, and I just want to state it for the record, is that in your exhibit 1, reasons to justify the well exception. If you can see all the notes I've written, because I don't think it's factually correct in a lot of circumstances. I don't really care at this point, but I'm just telling you for the record that I believe that a lot of the information that's on here is not really what took place, and it's not correct. But it doesn't make a difference because the commission makes the decision of what they want to do.
If you have that marked out.
Oh, no, you don't have to, you don't have to change it for me.
No, I
I'm just
would,
saying.
I'd give it to my
I'll
attorney.
just let him know. Oh, he knows, because a lot of the stuff we discussed about at the last meeting, that he was here,
Oh, okay,
so don't worry about it.
all right.
That's all.
Okay, so thank you. Point well taken.
Marty. So will the chairman sign this?
Yeah, I
that's-
would have the chairman sign it.
Alright.
Says the, what is it? It says the title.
It's
It's the administration official. certified operator.
Administrative official or certified operator.
operator.
Alright, right,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair.
Are you?
I think I might be the administrative official. I think,
Okay.
I think in the health department records, we had the first selectman as the owner. I think I'm listed as the administrative official, and then our certified operator would be, I guess for distribution, Kelly, or the treatment would be Ed.
Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes not having this on.
I just wanted to make sure we
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
fill it out right, so we don't, he doesn't have to come back again.
Good point.
Um,
And
Can I
Mr.
pick it
Chairman,
up tomorrow? I'm still waiting for the health department to put up their part anyway, so.
I think they would probably want to see ours before they do theirs.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
No, they're supposed to do their, I don't know, whatever.
and Mr. Sullivan, I will also echo what the town attorney said. I mean, it makes sense, and I think we have an opportunity to do something in our community and just help you out, get your exemption. Of course, it's up to the state to do. Unfortunately, it's all up to them, but I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have you had something you want to add?
prior to making the motion separately for the 4 questions, there was a motion for that UC recommend issuance of a well permit accepted with 28 Maple Avenue extension. And was it for discussion, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, actually what we did, did I make that motion?
It was made.
So I'll withdraw that motion
Okay.
because what we did was we ended up remaking the motion as we went down.
All right, so I
that's all right.
didn't want to.
Thank you. That was on me. Fabulous. Okay, so next on the agenda is the PUC capital project status summary.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Sullivan.
Peter, excuse me.
Peter.
Could you just verify where the 2 laterals are gonna go? Because I know that's what the health department is gonna be wanting. Yes. So the new house, where's it connected? The old house, where's it going?
Okay.
Because that's what the health department's gonna want to see. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No,
I wanted to catch him before he.
Yeah.
that's a good call.
So, all right, capital projects, Bergstrom Well. So we had our pre-construction meeting with Kovacs. The submittals are starting to be sent into Wright Pierce. It's a kind of a critical item on as far as the critical path. He's got to get those to Wright Pierce. Wright Pierce approvals back to Kovacs, then they can start ordering materials. So Wanda from Kovacs is up on that, so they're getting moving on that. Contractor's gonna be ready soon to put down his erosion controls and start getting the site prep. There's some trees that have to come out and some clearing. So they'll be ready, I think, soon for that. Yeah, they're working on their construction schedule and their schedule of values, because it's a lot of lump sum items. So they've got to give us a breakdown so that when we're doing payment applications, it makes a lot more sense. And then the last big item we kind of talked about, and I wanted to emphasize to them, was the payment application procedure. Since we meet once a month, I wanted to make sure we backed into those invoices being ready for the PUC to approve. So since we're the second Thursday of the month, some months were as early as the 8th, some months were as late as the 14th. What we came up with, they're gonna kind of finalize their payment applications on the 25th of the month. This way they can get it to Wright Pierce by roughly, say, the 1st of the month. Gives them enough time to review it all, get it to me and for Kathy then to submit for approval. So that was, I think everyone was on the same page with that, and that was good. And then I think we came up with, we'll probably pay them like the 3rd week of the month, which then would be roughly 30 days after their cutoff of the 25th. So I think that's going to be how it'll flow going forward. Because I want to try to keep each month the payments going without like lagging and then having 2 big payments the following month. So that's what we talked about there. The sewer system rehabilitation project along the railroad easement. We sent the notice of award to the contractor. He's had to revise some of the, basically had to do a revision on the name of the contractor that he has on the agreement and the bonds and certificates. He submitted them. Evidently, the name that's on the Secretary of State, is that correct, Marty? The Secretary of State's website? It was like his initials, GMPS LLC.
All the
So-
documents were in the full name of Green.
So we're having them revise that. I'm expecting that to get back to me hopefully this week. With the contractor's signature, and then I'll have it presented to you, Dan, for signature. And Marty as well, and then he can get going on his submittals and so on. Obviously, without the signed contract in place, we aren't in a position yet to do a change order, but it looks like we're gonna have a change order with a $47,400 deduction coming. We made a couple of adjustments to bring his price down a little bit. But then on the flip side, the contract, we didn't have Metro North's full cost estimate for their gang of people that are gonna come out when they do the bypass. So we set that item up as an allowance. It's just gonna be a pass-through. So the contractor can't mark it up. Whatever Metro North's bill is, contractor's gonna pay it and then pass it through to us. So we got a better estimate, not necessarily for us, but it was 15,000 higher than the guesstimate that we came up with. And as the guy from Metro North said, it's kind of it's a force account. So they come up with their estimate and then they base it on their actual time. So usually they're gonna overestimate that a little bit so that they have enough covered. So hopefully that's gonna come in under 25,000. We had 10,000 in the contract. So we're trying to get that contract moving so we can get in there while the ground is still firm. Last project, the Clark Park 2 pump station rebuild. I ordered our generator. I've got one quote coming in from an electrician. Coming way down from where his original was, and I'm meeting with him, the second guy, tomorrow. So hopefully by next month, we got a better handle. The way it's looking is we're gonna come in with all the items added together, less than the 150,000 that I had estimated. So we should be in good shape. But more information at the next meeting. That was it.
Utility supervisors report.
We got a few things this past month, of course, with the crazy weather we had last weekend for one night. Let me start off in the beginning. 39 Main Street, had a 2-inch service line. It was a week before the curb stop. We had to do about a 2-hour shutdown on the 12-inch line there. We put a new curb stop in, made a repair on that. 104 Greenwood, that's where O'Neill's used to be, the closet in there. They had to do some work inside and the line had a wheel valve in it that we couldn't locate. So we cut in a new wheel valve that feeds the whole complex. They froze the line, put in a new curb stop, did away with the wheel valve. That got done. During the crazy freeze, we had 80 Chestnut. We had a meter freeze and a pipe freeze in the condos up on the hill there at Chestnut Village. That was we had to go out and shut that off and had to replace the meter. Then I gotta say I think it was Tuesday, they found 2 broken pipes in the Bethel Methodist Church. We're figuring 60 to 70,000 gallons of water. They had about 4 feet of water in the basement. And Richie was just telling me they had a brand new furnace in there. So it was after the meter. It's going to be, it's registered water, but there's a lot of water that they went through. Took the fire department about 4 hours to pump it down. And then we had a vacant house on 93 Grassy Plain. Gate valve froze, meter froze. Couldn't shut the water off in the house. We had to install a new curb stop. Couldn't find a curb stop on the line. So that got done today. Other than that, right now we're pretty tight. The usage is down where it belongs. So we're in good shape there. Sewer side, everything's going good. We just pumped down another tank today, or cleaned the tank, Bethel Meadows. We usually don't have any problems here, but we have had a couple alarms the past week, so we've got that on the list. That's that one there. We pump maybe once a year, and it's get all the solids out of it, but really no problems with any of the other stations. They're taking advantage of some of the warm weather to go out and cut some of the trees, brush around some of the stations. They just cleaned up Clark Park 1. And that's really it. They're going around doing their PM on the stations, and we're working on putting a manual together with all that. We just ordered 10 sets of floats And some of the, we want to have some on hand, and we want to be able to, upgrade some of the floats and some of the things. But other than that, we're pretty tight on that end. Now, what I'd like to ask you about is, we're in real good shape with our vehicles. With the exception of one vehicle I have, it's a 95 Chevy dual wheel. It's got about 100,000 miles on it. We ended up taking that truck from the maintenance department and put a flatbed on it. That's when we were carrying Allen up to the different sites with the 100-gallon tank in the back. But it's starting to show its wear, it's starting to nickel and dime us. I even looked into having the body worked on, but it's starting to show its wear just in the body. And to redo the body, they're looking at $9 grand. It's just not worth it. The truck is too old. We probably gotta have a decent dollar for it. So what I'm asking you, I'd like to put it into next year's budget with Tom's blessings. But what I'd like to do is look into a price now and get it ordered, because the last truck that the town just bought took 14 months to come in. I just want to get us either a 3/4 ton or 1 ton, something that can carry around the fuel tank. And miscellaneous tools. There's nothing that we really, unless we're towing something, there's really nothing that we need to go back to that dually with the flatbed. I don't see us carrying Allen across town up to Chester Ridge anymore. And if we had to, periodically, we'd be able to put it back in this pickup truck. The last pickup truck we were able to get, I don't know what where Ford or Dodge is now, we got for about $30,000 without any accessories. I don't know what it's gonna be now. From what I understand, they've gone up $15,000. I know Bobby's still waiting on a couple trucks. I'd like your blessing to go out and get prices. I've got to get a price on a Dodge, price on a Ford. Chevy, I'm not, they seem to be out of the ballpark. And if I can get a guarantee, well, I can't get a guaranteed, it's not gonna come before July. But it would be the type of thing if we wouldn't accept it before July, we have to put no money up front. I don't know whether that's allowed in town budget to order something before.
The
I
question,
think, did you budget this year, Tom, for a replacement of one vehicle, 20,000 each?
We did, we got that truck.
All right, but I thought that was one that took 14 months.
Yeah.
That one was charged.
The one previous to that took 14 months.
Okay.
This one they
Okay.
found on a lot because they had already done away
Gotcha.
with all the
Yeah.
2000.
So I spent the money on the truck. This would be the last truck I think we need to do at this point.
With the exception of this one, our oldest truck now is a 14.
How many new trucks have we bought so far?
Four.
We got
Not
six,
just this year.
we got 6 employees. How many trucks do we have right now?
We got 6 plus mine,
Huh?
which 6 plus mine.
You got 6 trucks?
Yeah, and we have one, the only thing I haven't gotten rid of is the old Ford utility body. That still has a plow on it, and I'm keeping that as a spare if we need it, but I've only got one plow truck, and that's the one that's up at,
Or the reason I'm asking the question now, we have 2 guys up at the water treatment plant, right, working together. That's one truck up there. They ride together in that truck
at times,
Most of the
they do,
time.
not all the time, but yeah. they do.
a lot of the time.
All right, well, whatever.
Now this truck that has a tank on, is that used all the time or is that the extra?
Yes, it is, that handles, one of the sewer guys.
How many miles do we put on a truck during a year? Just an average. I'm not,
Me, 20.
I know you do because you
The
go
other
back.
guy, the other guys, probably 6, 7, maybe 8. It's really not a lot of miles.
Right.
And plus it's divided in half between the two.
Would it behoove us to get a leftover one or something that's gonna be a little bit cheaper than buying another new truck? We have to look at, the reason I'm asking that question, Kelly, is we have to look at longevity too.
Yep.
What's going on? We got people that are ready to retire. We got, they're at that age. And what we have to look at the total concept of the department, not only just the vehicles. That's all I'm looking at. I'm not trying to say no, but I want to look at the total.
Yeah,
operation.
I know what you mean about, like if we don't replace people when they retire. But I think we're at the point we need anybody that we replace, we need. I can't speak for any of the guys, but I think Eddie Knapp's probably gonna be the next guy to retire in the next couple of years. Chris McCollum can retire, but other than that. These guys.
No, I understand
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna reduce any guys
Yeah.
and the trucks, I just figured. And that's why I was replacing like a truck a year when I found out a lot of them were like from the 1990s. It's like, I don't wanna keep an old truck and then. The body work is how much?
I know it's 9,000 for.
Yeah, and so,
But I'm looking at the total picture, that's all. I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
at. I'm not looking at just a truck, I'm looking at the total picture.
sure,
I mean, you guys went to one town where two guys took care of 17 pump stations, right? Right? I mean,
Yes, we
I'm
got
looking
that.
at the operation, total operation and what transpires. That's why I'm not here to handcuff you.
Yeah.
But it's something that we have to look at because we spend a lot of money here. And the users are spending a lot of money, that's all.
Mhm.
That's all I'm looking at, you know? Not trying to-
I think the way we sit with trucks is, we're. With the exception of the. In 2014, everything else is pretty much 17 and newer, like my truck's a 17, one of the Fords is a 17. We've got two 21s and 122, I think it is. So we're to the point now where these trucks aren't gonna be replaced for 15 years.
Oh.
You know, because the miles stay down. They're just in town here. The only one that I really see taking a beating is the plow truck, and that's a one-ton. So I think that'll take.
But like I said, I think it's something we have to look at, you know, I don't have a problem, but I think we have to look at the value, the whole thing, that's.
what, if I could, why don't we give permission to go out and get prices? We'll look at the budget to see if.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about next year's budget, which starts,
Yeah,
July.
this year.
so that's not that far away, so.
I don't see a truck being built before July.
Yeah.
So
you know what, Kel, when you ask for quotes, ask for a delivery time and see what they come back with.
they might not even give me one, but I will ask. Yeah.
And you also usually go through the state bid, so we usually get a good price anyway. And I don't know what they're doing as far as escalation on that.
Now, I heard 15,000 on top of it. That's just-
Do you work with like Dibble on that? You guys collaborate to find the right truck, because he seems to have a knack.
Well, we work together on it, yeah, but we both kind of work with the same dealer.
Right.
Because everything is state bid and he'll search. A lot of times they want whatever they order. It comes right from the factory. You know, this latest truck we got, they were able to find something on the East Coast, which was just what we wanted.
Nice.
But they give us a state bid. I mean, you can't beat a pickup truck with 30 grand.
Right.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I don't believe that requires a motion, but just say, go. Okay.
And that's all I have. I just, if I can get prices and bring them back to you, then we'll take it from there at that point.
The real question is, can you order it in this fiscal year and pay for it?
That's absolutely- that's all.
Yeah, I know when I was doing fire trucks in Derby, they wouldn't let me order until the money was in place. Even if it was $1, they wouldn't let me order it.
So both water do have contingencies account, so there should be room to do the drop if it came in fiscal year 23. So. And if it makes sense financially to do it.
You can- Okay, so I don't think there's any other business.
Motion and adjourn.
Did you? Make a motion to.
No, we just, I didn't think we required a motion. We just gave him the permission to take a look. So we have a motion to adjourn on the floor with a second.
Yeah.
There we go. All in favor of motion adjourn? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank goodness.
Actually,
We're adjourned.
We'll be back in an hour.